Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. You know, I've been hooked on General Hospital for more years than I care to count, and let me tell you that Elizabeth Baldwin sure knows how to keep a fella on the edge of his seat. The way she pieced together that Drew Kane was lying there unconscious and somehow sending out a secret cry for help. Folks with all the fancy WSB and PCPD training couldn't crack it. But there she was, just doing her rounds like always, and bam, she got the message loud and clear. I swear it made me chuckle out loud in my recliner. She's got that natural detective spark in her, even while she's wiping little kids' faces and handing out juice boxes. And don't even get me started on how she figured out young Rocco Falconeri had shot Ross Cullum. All from treating one tiny wound on the boy's hand. I mean, holy cow, most of us couldn't spot a clue like that if it bit us on the nose. But Liz? She's over there being a hero in scrubs, and suddenly she's unraveling the whole mess. It just warms my heart to see a gal like her stay so sharp and caring, no matter what the hospital throws at her. Reminds me of my own wife back in the day, always noticing the little things that everyone else missed. Now, here's where my stomach starts to knot up a bit. Word on the street from the latest buzz is that Sidwell's got Cassius lined up to take care of that curious nurse once and for all. Can you believe it? Our brave Elizabeth's poking around too much, and it looks like trouble's brewing big time, especially with Jack Brennan laid up in that hospital bed. I've seen enough twists on this show to know it could get real dangerous for her real quick. Bless her heart, she's got more guts than sense sometimes, but that's exactly why we love her. I just hope she watches her back and doesn't end up in more hot water than she can handle. All in all, moments like these are why General Hospital still feels like family to me after all this time. It shows you that the everyday folks, the nurses, the moms, the ones quietly doing the right thing can be the real heroes. I can't wait to see how Liz gets out of this one, but I'll be rooting for her every step of the way. She's earned it. You know, I've been turning this whole mess over in my head ever since I caught the latest buzz from General Hospital, and I gotta tell you, it's got me more worked up than a hound dog on a coon hunt. There's Elizabeth Baldwin, our favorite no-nonsense nurse, standing there in Willow Tate's living room and realizing something just doesn't sit right. Two grown men, Brennan and Drew, both looking healthy as horses 1 minute, then dropping like sacks of potatoes in exactly the same way. I mean, come on now, what in the blue blazes are the chances of that happening twice? It's the kind of coincidence that makes you scratch your head and say, well, I'll be darned. Liz has always had that sharp eye for the little things nobody else catches, and right now she's putting two and two together faster than most folks can blink. She's already poking around, asking for better ways to help Drew communicate and digging into what's really going on with Brennan. Bless her big heart, that's just who she is, always caring, always trying to do right by her patients, even when the whole world seems stacked against them. But the more I think about it, the more my stomach starts to twist. Because that kind of curiosity can be a dangerous thing when you're dealing with someone like Jen Sidwell. Sidwell's not the type to sit back and let a curious nurse unravel his plans. He's cold as a January morning in Minnesota and twice as unforgiving. If he finds out Liz is getting too close, especially if she starts messing with anything that could jeopardize his operations with Cullum, he won't lose a wink of sleep over it. I've seen enough of these storylines to know how this goes. The deeper she digs, the bigger the target she's painting on her own back. And let me tell you, that thought keeps me up at night a little bit because Elizabeth isn't just some character on a screen to me. She feels like one of those strong, everyday women I've known my whole life, the ones who show up, roll up their sleeves, and quietly hold everything together while the rest of us are still figuring out what to do. Now, here's the part that really gets my blood boiling. If Sidwell decides it's time to handle the problem, word is he'll hand the dirty work straight over to Cassius Faison, the fellow folks used to know as Nathan West. Ryan Pavey played him so well you almost forgot he was trouble with a capital T. Can you imagine? Our sweet Liz, who spends her days comforting sick kids and steadying nervous patients, suddenly caught in the crosshairs of a man like that, it just doesn't sit right with me. She's got more guts than half the trained agents on the show, but guts only get you so far when the bad guys decide you've seen too much. Still, part of me wonders if this is exactly where Liz shines brightest. She's been through fire before and come out the other side stronger every time. Maybe, just maybe, she's the one who's going to figure out how to save Brennan before it's too late. I keep picturing her there in those scrubs, Calm as a summer lake on the outside, but with that steel in her spine, refusing to back down. That's why I've stuck with this show for decades, because it reminds me that the real heroes aren't always wearing capes or carrying badges. Sometimes they're the quiet ones, wiping brows, asking the right questions, and refusing to look the other way. I sure hope she stays one step ahead of Sidwell and his crew. My wife and I sit here every week rooting for her like she's family, and right now my fingers are crossed tighter than a drum. Whatever comes next, I know one thing for certain: Elizabeth Baldwin isn't going down without a fight, and I'll be right there cheering her on from my recliner, same as always. The deeper this General Hospital story gets, the more my old heart starts racing like it's the first time I ever sat down to watch a soap. Now they've got me wondering if Sidwell is really going to pull the trigger and tell Cassius to take out our Elizabeth once and for all. I mean, that thought alone gives me the shivers, because Liz has been stirring up more trouble than she probably realizes, poking around with all those questions and trying to piece together what happened to Brennan and Drew. She's just doing what comes natural, caring for folks and chasing the truth. But around here, that kind of curiosity can get a good woman in a world of hurt real fast. And wouldn't you know it, things are piling up on Nathan, Cassius, whatever name you want to call him, faster than a summer storm. His boss, Dante Falconeri, is madder than a wet hen right now because Nathan kept that big secret about Rocco hidden from his own dad. The show's turning the screws on that tension, and I can already feel it building like a pressure cooker about to blow. Those two have got history, and the writers are making sure we feel every bit of it. But here's the part that really tugs at me. Dante and Elizabeth have been sharing these little flirty moments lately. Nothing big, just enough to put a smile on your face and make you think maybe, just maybe, something sweet could grow there. She deserves a little happiness after everything she's been through, doesn't she? Yet if Sidwell gives the order and sends Cassius after her, that budding connection could get crushed before it even has a chance to bloom. Lord have mercy, the thought of Liz caught in the middle of all that mess just doesn't sit right with me. I keep picturing her there in those scrubs, steady hands and kind eyes, still asking the questions nobody else dares to ask, and it makes me root for her even harder. She's not some super spy with fancy training. She's a nurse, a mom, a woman who shows up every day and does the right thing. But the more she digs, the closer she gets to the fire, and Sidwell isn't the kind of man who lets loose ends dangle. If he decides she's become too much of a problem, handing the job to Cassius feels like the kind of cold move he'd make without blinking. It's got me talking back to the screen more than usual, saying, "Come on now, Liz, watch your step, honey." Still, that's exactly why I've stuck with this show through thick and thin. It's not just about the big dramatic showdowns, it's about watching everyday people like Elizabeth face the kind of danger that makes your stomach knot up, and somehow finding the strength to keep going. I sit here with my coffee every afternoon, hoping she stays one step ahead, hoping Dante gets to keep those quiet moments with her, and hoping the writers give us the kind of payoff that makes all this worry worth it. At the end of the day, moments like these are what keep General Hospital feeling like family. No matter how dark the road gets, I still believe our Liz has got that quiet fire inside her that's going to pull her through. I'll be right here in my recliner, cheering her on like she's one of my own, because that's what this show does to you. It pulls you in and makes you care week after week. Can't wait to see how it all shakes out, but I sure am hoping for a happy ending for that brave nurse of ours.